Hello and welcome to another one lap video. If you've ever wondered how a brand new Tesla Model X goes around a racetrack, well, this is the video for you because we are going to charge this thing up and send it for one lap of our track like we do with everything. This is the 2025 Tesla Model X all-wheel drive. It's essentially the long-range dual-motor Palladium 3 version of the Model X. And it has a slightly reworked suspension system, but the drivetrain and brakes and everything are pretty much carryover from previous generations of Palladium Model X. Really excited to see how this does because I've been recently driving some Teslas out here on track like the Cybertruck, and I've been so impressed. Cybertruck in Baja mode, I'll leave that video linked up here in the description, was hilarious and so much fun. And they let you dial in the power balance, and what an amazing experience that was. And here, it doesn't have any of that. But this is like a smaller, more nimble car, so I'm just a little bit confused on the Tesla strategy on what what drive modes in what cars make it in. Anyway, dual permanent magnet motor system, which is interesting, no induction motor, dual permanent magnet, 3.8 seconds 0 to 60. Head over to the out of spec testing channel. I did all the 0 to 60 quarter mile and braking tests on this car already. Very consistent, very fast. That is something that no one expects with the non-plaid version of the Model X. This is just the standard off-the-shelf one. Wow, it really boogies. Tires are going to be really important for one lap of this track here, and we do not have the big wheels. The big wheels hurt towing capacity but increase top speed. Top speed on this is like 145 or 148 miles an hour. That's fast enough for most people. You get 155 when you go for the big wheels. These are the Continental Cross Contact RX tire. It's an OE tire, 265 up front, 275 in the rear, so a slight stagger. We run with the aero covers in, and you know, I shoot the B-roll of this series, by the way, out of order. And you'll see some of that play in the background. This car threw some weird faults. It went like ESP off, ABS didn't work, blah, blah, blah. It freaked out with some hard driving. And I've had that experience with other Model S and X vehicles on there. So as long as you're gentle enough on there, which we're gonna have to be during the lap, you won't trigger any major faults, but they really hate to be ripped on. Like if you're trying to slide it or do some weird stuff, the whole thing freaks out and goes into fault mode, and it's pretty repeatable on these cars. They just do not like to be stressed. With that said, we have an interesting way to launch and get this lap going. We're going to be using the insane mode profile in the vehicle, which will run one suspension height higher than this. This is lowest. Low ride height is where you'll ride normally. And we're essentially going to go into cheetah stance for a launch. Once we're up and moving, I'm going to back the stability control off. There's automatic, slippery surface, and then stuck assist. Stuck assist actually pops up on the screen with a traction control disabled logo, even though it's still very much on there. And it seems to just open up the car a little bit more. And based off of some of the testing while I was shooting B-roll, definitely gives you a better lap time. So we're going to run stuck assist as our performance setting. It's a bit like the old GM, you know, tow mode is your sport mode. Stuck assist is ESP sport, essentially, is how we're going to treat this. Totally stock car, brand new car. Shout out to Tesla for sending it to us. And, you know, it's probably not relevant consumer information to take a 6-seat electric SUV around a track for one lap, but why wouldn't we do it? We're here. We have a track. Let's send it. Couple last nerd things for you guys, just so I can get it in there. Like I mentioned, dual permanent magnet motor, 600 and something horsepower. It's always hard to get the exact number from electric motors, but really quick. 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, 250 kilowatt peak charging, and the weight is impressive. This only weighs about 5,200 pounds, which is very light compared to some of the competition out there. So shout out Tesla for taking weight out of this thing. I recently got to meet up with Lars Moravi, who's head of vehicle engineering at Tesla, and he's like, for every kilogram the engineering team takes out of the vehicle, he buys that team a case of beer. And Car and Driver recently ran a story with this exact Model X, is my understanding, and talked about how much weight they took out of the car. So that should help it feel better out on track, and looking forward to seeing how that goes. For a 3-row electric SUV, it actually does not weigh very much. Can't believe I'm saying that when it's 5,200 pounds, but compared to its competition, is pretty good. Time to go for our lap. So in terms of setup, I've just pulled it off the DC fast charger to 100% state of charge. Battery's warm but not overheated because I just did some performance testing. It cooled off right at the end of the 100%. We're at around 50 degrees Celsius, but that should be enough thermal performance so that we can rip the whole lap with no derate. In terms of our setup, I'm going to go suspension in sport, steering in standard, maximum acceleration, and then I'm going to go for stuck assist traction control. It still has sort of this high speed maximum G limit where it's not going to let me power through the back end of the track, I've noticed, but it is the fastest way through some of the tighter corners in terms of getting the power down. So I'm going to line up here on the line, use that front camera actually, tire right there. I'm just, no one else is here right now, so it's just you and me. I am going to have to put my phone away, but I'm going to run our lap time thing here so we have everything set up and good to go for logging this course. So let me just lock my phone down in here so it's not going to go flying. So everything is clear, nice. Actually, what we have to do for the launch of this Model X is I'm going to have to go into insane mode, and I'm going to have to take it out of stuck assist to get the launch mode. Then, as we're accelerating, I'm going to hit custom, which is going to throw us right into the settings that I want. Very similar to insane, actually. Yeah, we can just keep it in insane mode. That's actually exactly how I had it set. But I'm going to throw it in stuck assist as soon as we're up and ready to rock and roll. And that should back off some traction control. So, let's get it into cheetah stance and see how this thing feels. Brakes are cooled down. We're at 100%. This should be pretty interesting. The last time I had a Model X around here, man, it just handled horribly. But that was an early pre-Palladium car. That was even pre-Raven, if I remember correctly. That was an old Model X. So let's see if they've gotten any better. Turn down the air conditioning a little bit. Left foot hard on the brake, flooring it with the right. We're going into launch mode. And then as soon as we're out and up, I'm going to throw it in stuck assist. Ready to launch. In 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, hard launch, really nice. Stuck assist traction control is on. Pulling, ripping down the straightaway here. Find that correct braking point. Whoa, standing into it. Maybe came in a little bit warm, not hot, but just kind of maximizing. I'm floored. Come on, baby, give me power, give me power. Just maximizing whatever grip we have. Stuck assist is opened up a little bit. Drop a tire off the side just to help, right? I can lift. You have to be really gentle. Because even in this stuck assist, ESP is cutting in so hardcore. But what's nice about this is the chassis feels so much better. Come on, baby, turn. Turn right to the edge. And I'm matted, and it's pushing. It's giving me more. Little lift right at the end there, dab of brakes. You're just leaning it on the tire the whole time. But the chassis feels so much better than older Model X's. ESP needs to stay out of the way. It's just constantly fighting me. And right to the edge of the track again. keeping it floored back here, not lifting, but this is where traction control is just not unlocking. And we really needed to. Whoa! So much ABS intervention. I blew that entire corner. I just couldn't get the thing slowed down in time. With that in mind, we're going to go deep in this corner, get it turned, and hard throttle on the exit. Here we go, baby. Unlock. Got to get it straight. Now it's full power. So, I mean, it feels way better than earlier X's, but it is in no way a natural driving experience. 130 miles an hour basically across the start finish. Still boogies along. And, you know, it's surprisingly good. I wonder what the lap time was. I bet I could shave a couple seconds off. Braking a bit earlier into the back, we blew that whole back section, and coming into the hairpin, because of that weird braking performance, I kind of lifted a little bit earlier, but I mean, we're talking maybe 1 second somewhere back in there. And I went deep into the hairpin to V it out, because with this car, you don't really want to stay turned and on the throttle too long. You want to get the car turned at low speed and hard power, use that big acceleration to get you back onto the straightaway. It's all about setting yourself up for the finish. And we burned 6% state of charge on that lap. Let's take a look at our consumption, because it can't be good. It was 1,952 watt-hour per mile. So pretty fun to do that and see the improvements with Model X from early days. It's still the worst handling Tesla. Even Cybertruck is way more natural, way more fun, way more playful than this is. And I guess I just don't understand why the Model X never got the love that it deserved from a chassis standpoint. It just is not set up for that. It's a straight line dragster. It's a family road tripper. It is not a performance car in any way, and it doesn't drive like one out there whatsoever. So thanks for joining me for that lap. That was actually, it was like, on one hand, impressive on how good the Model X has gotten, but on the other hand, like how much worse it is than Rivian and Gravity and other stuff in terms of the natural driving feel. And a lot of it is just because you can't get the damn stability control out of the way, and it's just constantly cutting in and killing the fun. So let's go back and look at the performance of the Tesla Model X all-wheel drive. Well, of course, this isn't even the plaid version, and the Model X is not designed to be an absolute sporty SUV, but it's one lap, and we run every vehicle through here, and it actually set a pretty reasonable time. And the time, let me pull it up really quick, is a 1 minute 47 second 0.07. A really solid 147 from this vehicle is not a bad time at all. It makes up for a lot of the weird ESP interventions by just screaming down the straightaway, by a great takeoff and high-speed performance on the way into the finish. But even the handling just feels a bit more relaxed, a bit more neutral, a bit better sorted than earlier Model X versions we had on the previous generation of the one-lap channel. Overall, I think Tesla has done a pretty good job with the overall setup for the Model X, but they really need to add in some sort of way to back off stability control for performance driving. Will they ever do that? Probably not, but I hope the Model X Plaid gets shown some love. I'm going to leave a link to a spreadsheet in the description below so you can see how this Model X stacks up against other cars that we've run in this test. However, we've only run 2 others so far because one lap is just restarting, so there's not much to share, but I'm out collecting more data as we speak. Thanks for watching, and see you on another one again soon.